So up until now, my channel has been almost exclusively about the Sur and Teleria bikes. Well, today, all of that changes.
Oh my God.
And don't worry, it still has a throttle. So this is the Engwe M20. Ooh. Let me take you through all the important bits. So I'm not going to get too nerdy about the specs, but I will go over the basic specs. It has 2 batteries on this version. Each battery is 13 amp hours, which gives you a total range of 26 amp hours. And that's kind of impressive. My green 72 volt Sur on the channel used to be a 2020 Sur, and that had a 32 amp hour battery with 4 times the power. So with these 2 batteries combined, you should get a range of 70 miles on the throttle only, or 100 if you're pedaling as well. Now these batteries are 48 volts and the peak power output on the motor is 1000 watts. But saying that, I have seen a few videos on YouTube where people have done the shunt mod, which basically means they solder an extra resistor into the circuit board on the controller, which is very easy, 2-minute job, and they've boosted the power from 1000 watts all the way up to 1500 watts, which really helps when you're going uphill, as the motor has more torque and can pull you up the hill at a faster speed, which you'll see later on when we go out on the GoPro. Now, I'm used to riding high-powered e-bikes that you've seen on the channel before, so I was a bit skeptical when receiving this about how fun it would be, but I couldn't have been more wrong. This is a completely different type of bike to what I'm used to, and it's fun to sometimes step back and just go on a nice relaxing cruise. You can still go up to 28 miles per hour, so if you live near London, you're still breaking the speed limit anyway. For those that don't know, the speed limit in London is now 20 miles per hour, which is painfully slow. And if you're on the country lanes, you can't really go much faster than that in a car anyway, because you don't know what's oncoming, so this is just perfect for it. Now, I've put 40 miles on this bike in the last 2 weeks, and I've only ridden it on the weekends, which is a good few hours each time. Now, there are a few things that I would say when you take this bike out of the box you should check for. Check everything's done up nice and tight. The front and back brake didn't really pull that tight when I got it, so I just have to unwind them here because they are cable brakes, and adjust those. But now I've got everything how I want it to be. Now I will say the rear shock is a 700-pound shock. This is really, really, really heavy. I only have a 450-pound shock on both my Surons, and even on my pit bike in the garage, I only have a 600-pound rear shock on it. So if you're a lighter rider, you may want to swap this out. It's a 235mm shock from eye to eye, so you can just find any mountain bike air shock or a spring shock online and it should fit. I wouldn't advise spending loads of money on it because this is mainly more suited for the roads and fire tracks. It has this really cool display with an on and off button and a button on the bottom to select your mode. So if you look in the middle, it says 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 being the most powerful and 0 being completely off. It has a horn, headlight that you can turn on or off. Excuse me mate, can you keep the noise down please? Thank you. That's what I thought. Got these daytime running lights which are always on, so you're never in danger. If there's a car in front of you, he will know that you are behind him. You can also turn on the full beams like this if it's night time. And if you come around the back of the bike, when the lights are off, the rear light is also off. When you turn the front headlight on, the rear light comes on, and then you also have a brake light which works regardless of what light you have on. So this is of course a hub driven bike, which means that the motor is inside the hub on the rear of the bike, which makes it really, really silent and quiet. So you could happily ride this through busy forest areas and no one will even hear you coming, which is why you have the horn. These batteries are both fully removable. So there's a keyhole on the other side of the bike. I'm not going to show you that right now because I don't have the key with me, but you can take them both off the bike, bring them in your house to charge, or if it's cold outside, you don't have to leave them in a cold garage. The batteries are, you can turn them on or off separately, so you can just run on one battery and then when it runs out, use the other one. I just leave them on all the time, and the little box in the controller here splits the power based on what battery has more juice left in it. You also have 5 little LEDs on each battery here. When the battery's turned on, you can click this button and it will show you exactly how much charge you have. So obviously each bar represents 20% of power, so this is fully charged. When you get this bike out of the box, you do need to change a few things around. So for me, I moved the display from the handlebar to the center, therefore it's always in front of me, so I can always see when I'm looking where I'm going, I can still see the screen without having to look to one side. Also, One thing to bear in mind is that the brakes are the opposite way around if you're in the UK. So the front brake is actually on the left and the rear brake is actually on the right. So just bear this in mind, because I did do a wheelie and come straight off the back of it when I first rode it. So what we'll do now is I'm going to get the GoPro on my helmet, we'll go out for a ride, I'm going to ride along the streets and show you the top speed, and then we're going to go off-road into a forest along some fire tracks and show you that it is capable and still fun off-road. So yeah, let's head out now. So guys, we are now on the road. As you can see, we're up to 27 miles per hour. So the traffic is just creeping away from me slightly. This is a 30 zone. The max speed on this I've had out of it is 36 down a big hill. There we go, 28. But this bike has very low rolling resistance, so once you get to 28, the motor actually turns off and it stops assisting you. But around these little twisties, much faster than the cars. $29, $28. Yeah, so one thing I didn't mention when we were back filming on the big camera is that these actually have USB charging slots in the sides of the batteries. So you can actually plug your phone in and charge directly off of those. Each battery does take quite a while to charge. In my experience, they've taken about 4 hours to charge each, but you can plug them both in at the same time as they are separate. But yeah, what I'm going to do is we're going to head from here, we're going to head down to the local forest, and then I'm going to show you what this is like on the trails. It's actually really good fun on the trails because you don't have to pedal at all, as the trails are nice and tight, so you still feel like you're going really quick. Little speed run down the hill. Let's see, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So now we're heading off-road. 24, 25. If you live somewhere where you've got some fire tracks, some little gravel trails, this is absolutely perfect. 25, 26, 27. Because it's so quiet, doesn't really cause any aggravation. One thing I will say though is that you definitely probably want to upgrade the rear shock if you plan on riding off-road a lot of the time, as it is very, very stiff for me. Like I mentioned earlier on, there's not much movement in it. I'm just going to stand up here because I know it gets a bit rough. The odometer is actually saying that I've done 45 miles on this now. So since filming this section yesterday on the big camera, I've done another 6 or 7 miles in a very short amount of time. Whee! Oh my god, I'm actually going really quick. See, this is so much fun. I'd love if someone else I knew had a bike like this so we could go out together. So yeah, off-road, I mean, it's no motocross bike, but it's certainly adequate. It's better than a lot of the hardtail mountain bikes that I've ridden through this same area. We're actually doing 27 miles per hour already. Now I do actually enjoy riding this to and from my girlfriend's house. She lives about 5 miles away from me, so it's just convenient, it's easy, it's light, it's nice and easy to maneuver around. So let's try it and attack this massive hill up here and see how we get on. This is all gravel as well, so it's very loose. I'm gonna pedal if it starts to get below 20. 25, 24, going all the way uphill, 24. I'm going to give it a little bit of an assist. It does get steep here. 20. Okay, 19. So we've managed to climb this massive, great big hill, and the lowest it got to was 19 miles per hour, which for a 1,000 watt motor is pretty impressive. But like I said, you can always do the shunt mod, and if you do the shunt mod, you get an extra 50% power. So I would assume up that hill you'd be able to do at least 23 to 25 miles per hour. I am fairly spoiled, obviously, with that I've ridden some of the most powerful electric bikes you can buy. However, this still feels really fun to me, and I do enjoy it. I'm really enjoying my time on it. So yeah guys, I'm actually on my way back home now. About to go and select a giveaway winner from last week's video. Hopefully it's one of you guys watching. I know that this content's very different from the Terra and Teleria content, but I thought why not broaden my audience and take on something else for a change. But the Engwe M20 has genuinely blown me away. I thought I was going to hate it, I thought it was going to be really slow, but it's plenty fast enough. In fact, in the forest I was going way faster than I probably should have. Could have hit a tree, but yeah, I thoroughly recommend it for anyone that lives in a city or lives near some fire tracks or just wants to get out and explore but doesn't have the £5,000 to spend on a Suron. This is absolutely brilliant, and it doesn't really attract much attention. I haven't had any problems. The police just smile and wave. It's perfectly fine. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and what we're going to do now is put back, select a giveaway winner, and yeah, see you next week. So guys, I'm just in the middle of editing this week's video, and as I said last week, I'm going to be selecting the winner this week. So let's select a winner for the swing arm extensions. Suron Selfie, you've won the swing arm extension. So I actually know you, I have you on my Instagram, so I'm going to message you now and let you know. Guys, I've just notified the winner. Hopefully he's pretty stoked about it. Go give him a follow as well. He's got plenty of content on his Instagram. He makes content on the Terra and Teleria as well, so let's get rid of that. Suron Selfie. So yeah, congrats man. Hope you enjoy them.